snap. Oh, snap. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Sorry, guys. My screen was bright. Good morning, everybody. Well, afternoon, I guess. Welcome to the Jerkmonger Show, coming at you live from Tampa, Florida. That's it. That's it. We are here. Cam, 1138. What's up? How you doing? How you doing? I am going to quickly work on something here. I have a sketch that I did. This is actually not the art. It's actually this right here that I'm going to be working on here. I'm actually just going to tighten up the sketch. So I have a concept to, it's a collaboration between me and one of my partners in my business, Mr. Mark Pennington. I'm going to knock out this little thing here for him to work on his part of it. We can move forward. I was just watching some of your other videos and I'm loving them so much. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, and very much. That means a lot, brother. It does. All right, so I am going to jam on it. I jam on it. I said jam on it. So I'm kind of just working on this concept here. So it's basically like a Mrs. Claus type of concept. And Mrs. Claus is going to be sitting on a bag of toys, which will include some of our favorite characters. You know, a couple of characters, not a lot, but they're going to have like a Spider-Man plushie hanging out, as well as a few other things. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I never shared this. I'm going to share to. Whoa! What happened? Share to the Twitter. Holiday pinup. Hey. I'm going to put ... Hey. ... Foolish like that. Foolish. I'm foolish like that. All right. And we're also going to share on the Book of Faces. Well, something went wrong, so I can't do it on the Book of Faces. So we're going to keep this there. Cam says, found you via EBS stream when you were running Black and Red Sketchbook campaign. Got my copy. It looks awesome. Thank you, Cam. I appreciate it. Mutt man, what's up, dog? What up, dog? Well, it works when I say dog to you because you call yourself Mutt man, so it's an especially appropriate terminology. All right. So I should have done this figure before I went into the hat, but it was just too easy. So I'm going to give her boobs. She will have breastises because, you know, that's what we do. That's how I do. That's how I do. You can barely see this, I know, but just bear with me. Just bear with me. It'll start to come alive shortly. I wonder if I should do the sketching first and then start inking on video instead. Andrew Costa says, what does a horse eat? Hey, what does... Oh, Lord. Hey. No, see, I don't want to do this. This is not what she's doing. She's doing this. Her knees up here, crossing over her legs here like that. Because this girl's fine. She's a bad mamma jamma. Happy Veterans Day. What's up, man? Same to you, brother. Same to you, man. God bless you. Thank you for your service, my friend. Thank you for your service. Hey, Sketch, guess what? I dumped a folder that had a bunch of art books, and it was almost a gig deep. And guess what? Guess what happened? It started working better. I'm telling you, man, there's something to be said about that. I know it shouldn't have an impact on RAM, but man, it seems to have some sort of impact on the performance of a machine. Pero en cualquier manera, we are here today to draw the lovely the ladies. It says Santa Lady. Every time she goes to the sleeps for me. Okay, so I'm kind of, all right, I'm just drawing. Hey ladies, hey ladies, hey ladies. All right, so her head might be a little large. See, this is why it's important not to get married to the elements in the image, especially at this stage. I'm drawing very, very light. And the reason why I'm drawing this light is so that when I erase, it's easy to erase. I can get rid of my lines quickly enough. And it's not going to cost me too much in time or energy, literally energy, because it takes a while to start scrubbing the thing down with the eraser or whatever. But this is supposed to be just a loose sketch thing anyway. Although I might use this to draw what's next. Sketch therapy says, "Oh, thank God, would be ashamed to not be able to use it." I guess it's different with SSD. I guess so. So Sketch, by the way, guys, is a good friend of mine, good buddy. So he was trying to help me troubleshoot my Mobile Studio Pro last night because that was conking out on me, and this machine, you know, has its issues, and I was messing up and missing a deadline for a client, and I don't at this point of where I'm at in the year and with my finances just uprooted recently, I really can't afford to have any downtime on the machine. So, which is rough, right? Because you figure, oh, well, you know, all you got to do is draw it. When you're working for commercial stuff, a lot of times I have to switch gears and really I have to use tools that I normally wouldn't use, or you know, you guys see me draw with pens and pencils and stuff, but I do a lot of my regular freelance work on the computer. So, you know, I'm not quite like John Malin when he uses his computer for comics. But anywho, so all right. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Let's see if I can reduce my light even further. See if this helps. Maybe it won't. I don't know. That helps a little bit. I just reduce my brightness a bit more. Okay, so now that I feel good about that, let's go ahead and show her hands clearly planted on this thing. So it's gonna be something like this, and I think that the toys are going to be kind of tied here with an opening, the cloth opening. Okay. Maybe there's like a bit of a sack effect. Looks like a pin pose. Oh, yes, it is. I don't feel good about this, Lafayette. What's up, Lafayette? Hey, man. What you up to, brother? Craig, what's up, dog? So, well, maybe that's the way it goes there, but there has to be some sort of like tension here, right? Because the stuff in the contents of this sack is kind of pushing out. So we want to give a little bit of tension, not attention, but tension to this opening here. So I have like a rope. I'm assuming that Santa puts a rope around the opening of his bag of goodies. The goodies. I love the goodies. It's so good for the goodies. And this is where Spidey's going to be. There's going to be a Spidey toy and a Batman toy. All right. Benjamin, what's going on, man? What kind of magic are we conjuring today? That's a great question, Benjamin. It's Santa. It's Christmas, holiday magic. I've been watching a lot of Hallmark movies with my daughter. Yesterday was a big Hallmark day. and we were enjoying our little love stories. That's right. I'm not gonna lie. If that changes your perception of me, so be it. So be it. I don't care. All right. And I think somewhere around here is where Santa is going to be standing. He's going to be a badass Santa, be a Baraka Santa. We'll be streaming tonight. I would like to get that villain designed by you if you don't have any plans. I will like to do that, my friend. Let's plan for that, brother. Cam 1138 says, "Oh my gosh, my wife is addicted to Hallmark movies. It runs all season, dude. I've already seen more than my fair share, but oh well, what are you gonna do?" Knocking out 3 to 4 Fortnite prints before a 3-day anime con in January. Word up, brother. I'm in the middle of I'm doing this is a holiday print that's going to be. It's a collab between me and Mark Pennington, and he's going to be handling the art duties on this B.A. Baracus Santa Claus. And you guys can't even see where let me back up a little bit. Let me back out just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, here we go. So he's going to have some sort of I don't know, he's going to have like a knife or something. He's a BA Santa Claus. All right, so then yeah, I have a buddy who's out here in Orlando this week, and I can't see him. I can't go visit. I have a lot going on right now. Life is taking its toll, baby. But it's like anything else, man. It'll get better. It'll get better. It always does. It always does. Ho 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 ho! Merry Christmas! Ho ho ho! All right, I'm gonna have him like that. So I'm doing a placeholder for him in this illustration because I'm not supposed to be drawing him. I like a good Xmas movie. New Grinch is excellent. I love those Hallmark movies. The Grinch I heard was pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I saw Black Nerd's review of that, and I was pretty happy to hear. It sounded like mucho bueno fun. So okay, so this is my sketch of the whole thing. I'm going to give her a sideways hat. Like one of those Santa hats that are kind of cocked to the side. And then I'm going to bring it down this way, beside her, to her right. Santa baby, ba-ba-ba-da. Kelly Pickler was from, oh yeah, wasn't she a country singer though? Is she a country singer? Let's see. What would be a perfect Santa weapon? A big Christmas tree axe? Yes. Yes, Cam. Yes, all day. Head out to meet you this weekend. Right on, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad EVS introduced him to so many of us. Right on, Cam. Thank you very much again. Guess I can't judge you. I love rom-coms myself. I love love stories, says Brian. Big sucker for love stories. Yeah, man. I'm all about it. And they're all the same, right? Every one of those shows are exactly the same, but that doesn't matter. I still enjoy it. Let's see. Thank you, brother, for putting the thing. Claremont Comic Con this weekend in just past Orlando. See, I'm a little nervous. I probably shouldn't do it here because so I'm going to leave this as the sketch. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do a quick darkening of some stuff for Mark's sake. I think I'm going to use the school pen. This is not supposed to be a proper inking, guys, so just bear with me. I think I'm going to come back to this illustration in a second. Now that I have my basic layout, and pass this off to Andy so he can get it to Mr. Because this thing is right after the Saturday after Black Friday. Okay, Lafayette, I'm gonna be on for a bit, man. So least until I get one of these parts done. Chris Evans, what kind of Santa are we conjuring? The traditional one or the Dark Santana kind? I'm not sure yet. Andy came up with the idea for this as a print concept. Oh, actually, that's not true. It was the comic shop owner, but we weren't sure which one to do. That was what they thought I was going to do. And we said, well, you know what? I really want to work on my pinup girls. And so I'd like to focus on that a bit. They said, sure. But then we thought it'd be cool maybe if they were both in the image. Like badass Santa. Could be kind of bad Santana-ish or Dark Santana. I'm going to talk to Antonio. Seems like Dark Santana is almost redundant now that I say it out loud to myself so many times. Does it have to be Dark Santana? Can it just be Santana? But every time I think of Santana, I think of Santana, the musician, the artist. She's a black magic woman. Ding, 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 ding. She's a black magic woman. Mr. Gervais, what's up? Just woke up. What did I miss? You didn't miss much. I'm just I'm laying out a concept for a print that I'm going to be doing for a comic shop that I'll be exhibiting at in a couple weeks for the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And this is just a layout, so you haven't missed much. Here's Spidey toy. Bat toy. Why am I taking so long to draw this? Okay, so Santa, he can draw whatever he wants. I'm just telling him about where he's going to be. This is about where I would do him. And he's a great artist, Mark Pennington. He's fantastic. One of the guys in my group. And I love him as a human being and also him as a professional. He's a sharp guy. He's a great artist. His paintings are incredible. He was more prominently known as an inker in the old days. I guess it'd be badass and Santa. Let's see. All right, so just in case there's a no. Santa. Pinup. All right, cool. All right, so I've done that. So what I'm going to do now is one of the things we're going to do is we're going to give away this art at the store for that signing. And I want to go ahead and kind of get that started here. So I'm just kind of laying out. Again, you guys can't see it very well. I appreciate that as an issue, but I got to work this way a bit so I can try to keep it light. That's always been my process. I draw light at first. Well, not always. Sometimes I get a little pumped up. I'm like, oh man, it'd be so fun, and I get all geeky about it. Like, oh, I want to draw this. I can't wait. So I'll start to lay down heavier lines faster. It's usually just a product of excitement, not so much that I fully intend to do it that way. But once you've laid down those lines, it's very difficult to take them up if you want to make any adjustments. So basically, that's her for now. She's a black magic woman. Can you guys see that? Let's see if I can get a little closer. She's a black magic woman. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. She's a black magic woman. She's got me so blind I can see. She's a black magic woman. She's trying to make a devil out of me. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. I wish I could play that music. Bam! But it's not very Christmassy. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. I don't know. I think I'll stick with Santana for right now. Dee 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 da dee 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 ba ba doo da doo doo doo. All right, so here's her heel. There's her feetsies. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Again, so anyone that's in the chat right now who may be veteran, any veterans in the chat? Any veterans? Besides Critias and myself and sketch therapy? Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, dun, 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 dun. Sean, what's up, man? Thank you for your service, my brother. I appreciate it. It's been an honor. Andrew Acosta, what's up? Happy Veterans Day. What's up, Chauncey? How you doing, man? No, I just love veterans. Much respect to all you legends. Word, word. Thank you so much. Keep getting logged out of YouTube. What? It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. See, I got excited about this heel. And now guess what? It's harder to erase. It's harder to erase. I gotta keep my lines light. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut my face. Okay, so I'm gonna give her a nice hand here. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Who is calling me? I don't know who this is. Doxing me now. How dare they? How dare they? How dare they? Oh, coquito. I can't drink too much coquito, man. Diabetes. But, and it depends. My aunt makes a killer coquito, my Titi Carmen. But sometimes she makes it a little too much of the ron. And I actually prefer the coquito part of it. But it's always kind of burns my throat. I don't know why. It's got to be a sweet combination of love. I should have gotten me some coffee with cheese. I wonder if there's anybody in this town that sells it like that. I'm sure there is. Café con queso. Has to be. Has to be. All right. So I have a good start here. Who else waiting on the Jerkmonger karaoke live stream? Not to be rude, says Brian, but when you do the group chats, is there a way to get your artwork on the screen the whole time? Yeah, there is. I could do that. Sometimes people are drawing too, and I try to give them a chance, but I will certainly do that from now on. Except for when I'm on somebody else's channel. I can't do it like that. But yeah, that sounds good. If you guys prefer that, then by all means. So let me ask you guys a question since we're on the topic of art and all that jazz. How many of you guys here are here for the art? What's your favorite part of the Jerkmonger show? And what could I do better? What could I do better here on the Jerkmonger channel? Sketch says, blessings to the karma. Confess sometimes I even like the virgin cake and drink the shots of alcohol separate. yeah, that's true. That's true. Art, lots of art, says Critias. All right, okay. Critias likes the art. The lad, Mark is super excited to jump on his part of the print. Right on, man. I just did this lab. This is the thing I'm going to scan and send to you. and then he can start working on his part. So, or I'll take a picture and you send it. I don't know, however you want to do it. Just so he has an idea of how he's supposed to stand in a relationship. We can always adjust it in the computer. Critics says, to be honest, I like the Nasser. I liked the Nasser when you did character designs. I like character designs are something people dig. Yeah, I do too. Me too. Here for the art. I'm interested in seeing the process. Okay, good. I saw, will do. Okay. Over there. I like the art and behind the scenes of making a book. I like that too. Right on, Andrew. Brian says, your concept art for your book is why I have been watching. It totally inspires me to become a better artist. Good. Here for your art. Opinions on ish and singing. Well, all right. That's what's up. All right. That's cool. That sounds consistent with what I suspected. All right. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to give her hand like a natural, because she's going to has her hand placed on this bag of goodies. So I'm going to try to do this like that. And maybe I have this here and that there. This is going to be my original part element. Then when I'm done, I'll scan it and I'll put it into the artwork. Let's see. I like when Acevedo is on and Critias and Antonio Bryce. I like guests. Right on. Tommy Sarkinen says, I like listening your sweet, sweet voice. And look how character develops. Oh, ho, ho. Hey, hoo, ha. Bada bing, bada boom. Right on. That's cool. You know, it's kind of unfortunate that she's sitting on this bag, because think about all those toys being just crushed. Strix. What is your commission process? You can contact my art rep, thelab@gmail.com, for any commissions. He will square you away and get everything rolling for you. I'm getting pumped up because I have some things I got to get done. So this is helpful for me. All right. I'm guilty of being like that too. I ask my kids. It's true. thelab@gmail.com. thelabcomics@gmail.com. Okay, so now one of the things I like to do, which I don't think I have my thing here, so I'm just gonna keep building. Sketch says, as far as on screen, I like it when you work on up and coming stuff. I like character designs, but I love it when I know I might see them in a sequential book to come. Oh, snap. You're great on streams, man. I dig your viewpoint on issues too. Tillman says, the art is cool, but your persona is what really keeps me coming back. Also, when you have your boy out in Cali, on the interaction between the two of y'all having me trolling. 3D Robin says, I like your nice lines. You are a line master. Well, thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. All right, so now I've done enough of this loose sketching. I'm gonna come in now with a bit of a tighter, no, still building, but it's gonna be a little different because I'm gonna start committing to things, committing to shapes, committing to elements of the design that I think are gonna be important or still be around by the time I'm done. Just noticed my neck is getting a little stiff because I'm in this weird position. Okay, so let's go ahead and give her the sultry eyes. Those are my angry eyes. My sultry eyes. My sultry eyes. It's beautiful, my sultry eyes. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so I'm just kind of building the art. Building the art. Do you always draw with paper flat on the table? Yes, pretty much. I don't want to. I like drawing with like on my art drawing table where it's a little more elevated, but I don't have my setup for that. So I kind of stick with this. This works for me. And this is how I can, if I'm drawing normal stuff, that's how I would draw it. If I'm drawing it for broadcast, then I do it here on this tabletop. Oh, man. Why you don't like your voice, Critias? You sound very Puerto Rican. You just have us to slow down for the gringo. It's true. It's true. Just keep it the slow and low. That is the tempo. Slow and low. That is the tempo. Who knows what that is? Who knows what that is? I'm trying to draw us a pouty mouthed smile. Or for the peeps. I wonder if I should ink this with a Croquo instead this time. I don't know. We'll see. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave. Man, I bought that album that year. Never forget it. That was awesome. That was that Wham! Make It Big album. And I had that. I was like, what? It's a Christmas song. And I remember it came out right around Christmas time. It was snowing in the Bronx. And I was walking back from Fordham Road with that in my hand. I couldn't wait. Got back to the house. Threw it on the record player. Oh, snap. This is before CDs, kids. Before CDs. Beastie Boys, you're right. Snow and low. That is the tempo. No sleep till dant, 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 Brooklyn. All right, that's enough of that. From the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx, dang nabbit. All right, so kind of cool, kind of sexy, kind of nice. She still looks a little masculine, but we're going to work on that. We're going to keep building her up from the ground up. Let's not settle for anything. This is going to be a nice piece. Let me see if I can just jump in here with a little bit softer nose. Never can say goodbye. You told me secrets that you never told a soul. You were so nervous and yet so comfortable. What the heck are you talking about, Craig? What you talking about, Craig? Craig, what you talking about? Oh, Craig, why you say that, Craig? Michael Jackson. Don't say that, Craig. Don't say it to Michael Jackson, Craig. All right, so I'm kind of... Oh, it was a song? Oh, okay, good. Because I was going to tell you, I was going to say, dog, man, I don't like you like that, bro. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. Force One, what's up, dog? I'm sinking my teeth into this pinup girl, a holiday pinup girl. Kind of have her sitting on a bag of goodies, Christmas goodies, Santa's bag. I'm gonna round out her breasts a little more. The Michael voice is the best. Oh, Craig, why'd you say that, Craig? It's so good, Craig. You're so good to me, Craig. It's so good. It's so good, Craig. All right, so she's pretty hefty. Not gonna lie. What do you, Brian said, I guess prefer drawing live stream or all by yourself? I prefer the stream. I prefer the interaction with my friends. I just, I don't want to. I don't want to put anybody out. I'm sure people are trying to get on to somebody's stream today, but I just need to get this work done. And after I'm done here, I got a couple of pins I have to design. I have some mini mongers I got to do for Christmas. Is she naughty or nice? You tell me, homie. You tell me. Big girls need love too. Naughty girls need love. You guys remember that? Naughty girls need love too. That was Samantha Fox. Samantha Fox. Woo! I had a crush on her. Naughty girls need love too. Dun, 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 dun. I was still in the Bronx for that one. Is she naughty or nice? Naughty? Is she naughty or nice? Hello, Bobby. Hello, welcome to my show, Lifestyles, the Rich and Famous. You know what? I don't like the eyes terribly, but let's see what I can do. Maybe I can try something with a contrast red color. So my red pencil's here. Well, I do have a, well, I don't know where it's at right now. Oh, I do right here. Big girls enough to give her puffy high heels. Puffy, what? All right. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to draw on a different pencil for this part. I'm drawing also on smooth vellum today. Lately, I've been drawing on I'm sorry, smooth Bristol. Recently, I've been drawing on vellum for my sketches, for my art book, or my comic concept, which is tentatively called Soul Diver. Ooh, I love that. But I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I thought you were for top-heavy ladies, so no, I see that. That was just her arm. That's her back, dog. That's her whole back. She's all mushy. Let's see. The closer I get to you, the very. What'd you miss, Donald? What's going on, man? What's going on? I got people up in the stream, people in the chat, people chilling like Bob Dylan, smoking out with Gilligan. Come on, we all know that Gilligan was smoking out. We kind of know that. What happened to Stan the Mans? Says Chris Evans to Stephen 4X. I don't know, Stephen. Stan Lee really passed. What? What happened? Did Stan Lee pass away? Oh no. I hope not. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for another chunk of bad news. Oh, man, my neck. My neck and shoulders. That was my very first attempt at an art book was called Head and Shoulders. And I realized it just made me want to wash my scalp. No. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I got to look for that. No. Hold on. No. No, that's sad. Oh my gosh. My heart is breaking. You guys better not be messing with me. Oh. He did pass. Oh, that's terrible news, guys. Oh, no. It says right here, he died November 12th, 2018. Oh, no. Oh man. Wow. Wow. Man, take a moment of silence for that, y'all. This thing just went to a whole other level, kids. Oh, what terrible news. Hollywood Reporter, Stan Lee, Marvel Comics real life superhero, dies at 95. Oh, it's so sad. Wow, it is a sad day, man. The cold November rain. Wow. San Francisco's WNCT reported it too. Channel 5, Los Angeles. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. You had a long, long life, long struggle. Hey, man, I guess that sounds like to me, I need to, let's get this thing. Let's get some people in here so we can mourn our hero. I'm going to go back into this. And oh man. Man alive. Wow. Oof. That's a doozy right there, man. That's a doozy for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit impacted by that. I'm a bit blown away. Oof. Man. Oh my God. You know, it's crazy, right? Because you put a you know, we enjoy this hobby so much and we take it probably for granted. And now one of the patriarchs of the industry, one of the godfather, if you will, of comics, passed away. Very, very sad day for sure. Very, very sad day. Oof, oof, man. It's gonna be all over the news. Well, I pray for his family, for any of his family that's still alive. I know he had a daughter that there was a lot of complications there, but oof. I'm getting buzzed here. I wonder if people are trying to tell me. Yeah, I just yeah. Yeah, getting my updates on the social medias. Ooh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right, well, I'll tell you what, man. While we're here and we take a moment to reflect on our hero, let's not just let's not let his life it's a terrible thing that he passed, but it's also a beautiful opportunity to remember him in some sweeter ways. Um, Talk to me. What do you guys? What's your what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I'm sure some of you guys are checking right now, checking your information, making sure I'm not crazy. Wow. I had no idea this day would turn out like this. He's hoping that a new generation of comic pros picks up and gives rebirth to an industry in trouble. That's a mouthful right there, Cam. What's up, Crit?
What's going on, Elliot? How you doing?
Good, man. Just saw that information, man. It's true.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
It's a sad day, man.
Yep.
You know, it's funny in light of all the stuff that we've been kind of dealing with lately,
Mm-hmm.
and all the challenges and all the struggles. You know, thinking back, you know, he was the OG for all that, right?
Right.
You know, all the stuff that he put his own life on the line to get his to get what we know as Marvel Comics today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, was born out of his efforts. Him and Jack Kirby putting down, you know, the lines and the words to inspire not just one generation, but every generation since.
Right. Right.
Heavy stuff. Heavy
Yep.
stuff.
And
What are your what are your
my
thoughts?
I mean, he left a legacy, you know what I mean? He created so many wonderful characters, you know, that I grew up enjoying, you know, whether through comics or watching on a TV show, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
and it sucks when you hear news like this, you know, because he did excuse me, he changed a lot, you know. He made an impact, you know what I mean? And I feel like is he the last one, you know, of that era?
Well, sorta. I mean, we from that era, I think so. I think we still have Jim Shooter, who had a really big part in the Marvel explosion in the '80s. That was
Right.
largely due to him. Um,
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear that, Donald. Sorry to hear that, man. Donald in the chat has it's a bad day for him for other reasons as well. Uh, wow, man.
Wow. Sorry,
Sorry,
man.
sorry for your loss, brother.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, man. This is, you know,
You know that you know what for I the way I take this is that now we, you know, we the new generation of creators,
yeah,
we gotta live up to their legacy, you know, to the ones that
yeah,
were left behind. You know, we gotta do what they did, you know, and honor them by doing right by them, you know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
they paved the way for us, you know.
That's so
They
true.
right, they laid out the foundations, the road for us to follow, and now we gotta honor them by paving the way for other people too, you know.
Mm, this is more impactful to me than like when everybody felt like what happened to Carrie Fisher. Like this was
Right,
he was my, you know, it's funny because I really didn't pay a lot of attention. I was indifferent to him in different times of my life as an artist and as a fan. And
right.
yet here I am today and I'm like, wow, man, I'm literally stymied by that. I was like, wow.
Hmm.
Um, another sad thing is that somewhat younger generation, Jim Shooter, John Byrne, and that era has gone silent. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Well, Jim has been talking lately. Jim has made some interesting comments, um, but yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know, like we said, you know, it's like it's an opportunity today to pick up the baton, you know, for us.
Hmm.
And I know that sounds really lofty, and maybe people would be like, "Oh, come on, you guys comparing yourselves to Stan." Well, no, I mean, but
No,
Stan didn't know he was going to be Stan when he started what he was doing,
right.
you know, and so yeah, I'm not comparing myself to Stan Lee or to Jack Kirby, but I am going to say this that there's a Stan Lee in any of us
Mhm.
if we want it like if we want it that bad and if we're sharp enough, you know. And that man was sharp. He was a genius, man. He look what he did in the end of his life.
Yeah.
How he used his fame to create. He was still doing comics from time to time, you know.
Hmm.
Um,
But it's like you said, you know, I mean, we're not picking off where he left off. You know what I mean? You know, what we're doing is we're gonna continue honoring those that you know made this industry what it is. You
right,
know.
right, right. Um, let's see. Cam 1138 says, "Just think about it. Lee's work at Marvel has huge reach. The entire movie industry today is based on those Marvel characters." That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I would welcome, Cam says, creators of today picking up the baton and having the passion for comics that which seems to be lacking in mainstream comics today.
Right. Right.
Yeah, man. Ooh, man, my heart just like it's like a little earthquake just happened in me. Ooh.
But that's the way life is. You know, life is crazy like that. It's strange like that. You know what I mean? Yesterday you're going through your regular day, an average day. You know, everything seems fine and you enjoy. You go to sleep. And the next day you wake up and you hear something tragic, you know,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
when it hits you because you think about, you know, he wasn't expecting it. You know?
Yeah. Mm, mm, mm.
But you know, we just gotta honor these guys, you know, these guys that pass, you know, and we gotta keep going, you know, keep going for the sake of the industry they help build, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and don't get it mistaken either. You know, he was definitely doing it of a very, you know, he had ideas, he had stories, he thought he could make
Right,
something with what he had, and he put it out there, man. He had an opportunity through his cousin's company, um, to make something out of it, you know, and we all know the legend, the story, you know, how it was almost didn't happen. He almost quit.
right,
And you know, it's funny because I'm there too. Sometimes I'm thinking, man, maybe I need to go back to doing something else. So, you know, I'm in the middle of that kind of battle right now. And it's like, you know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how he's created he's like a torch, you know, on this journey to kind of say, hey, this is where you could be
right,
if you want it, if you're committed to it, you know.
right, right.
Oh man, what a day. What a day. Tom says he Stan is icon everywhere. He is loved everywhere. He has saved lives with his art. Now, that's actually true. I've heard the stories that people say things like how his characters, those characters that he was involved in the creation of, those or the way that he presented them, at least, that was a way that some people got through hard times.
Hmm.
You know, I hear that all the time from people who have been reading comics for at least as long as I have. Um, Gervais says, looks like it confirmed that he passed at 95. Yeah, yeah. I saw the articles. I saw Hollywood Reporter reported it. I didn't check for AP, but I did not see that stuff. So, and so anyway, you know, oof, man, feeling that earth shake.
Mhm.
Stan the man. Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed. Another legend. Hmm.
Yep.
Well, so I guess like to your point, Grid, you know, what do we do with this? What does his life
Mhm.
mean then for us?
Right, and for the comic industry, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do we do with it? You know, do we I don't
Right.
know that we have any of us has the ability to make an impact at a particular company, a private company, an organization like that. But I think we have an opportunity, and this goes back to something we had discussed the other night, you know, on the aftermath show.
Right.
Um, you know, what the importance, or even yesterday in your show, the importance of of taking what you want to do, you know, and taking what God has given you in your life,
Mhm.
and then taking that and saying, okay, what do I do with this gift? I mean,
Right.
I don't think I agree with a friend of mine. For those of you who are creators and writers and artists, you know, you guys, most of us we haven't received. It wasn't like we were born with this ability to draw. We all or to write. We had to work at it. You know, some
Mhm.
of us are better at it than others. And you know, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a gift, like like we were born with it, you know, but they don't know how much work we put into it.
Right.
And because we put that kind of work into it, that's not to criticize them. It's just to state the point that it's an effort. You know, the effort has to be more than just. It's not just a. Um, it's not just for personal use, if you will. I mean, it can be. I was watching one of those Hallmark movies yesterday, and this girl, one of the characters was painting for herself, and I was like, oh, even as I heard that it's a fictional character, has nothing to do with real life, but it still hurt me. It still bothered me
Right.
that someone would have a talent and a gift, and it was presented very like it was a good gift. You know, I'm not going to say obviously it was fake, but
Mhm.
um, so so, you know, what do you do with it? What do you do with that? When you have something so strong, you got to use it for something.
Right.
And Stan used his gifts, whatever they were, you know, and people might argue, you know, what those things were, but you can't argue with this, that he was the front man of front men, and he sold that stuff like if it was water. like if it was life, you know, and look how it's impacted us. I mean,
Right.
to this day. I mean, careers. I mean, I'm not even working at Marvel, and I still have to thank Spider-Man for some of my family's eating, literally, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
how many commissions have I done of Spider-Man, and how many he saved? He didn't just save my life; he saved my family's life with those characters. You know, that sounds like it's heavy, but you can kind of see where my logic is coming from with
Yeah,
that.
no, I get it. I get it. Like if that, like for example, if Spider-Man didn't exist, those commissions wouldn't exist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was fun to do it in the process, right?
Right.
Sketch says it makes me angry that his last days were riddled with elder abuse. I don't just remember his legacy; I remember his suffering to create so much and get used so horribly. If like he fell into the hands of a villain, that's true. That's true. You know, but you know that's a broader problem
Right.
for a lot of elderly people, and that's
Well,
something we should all be very thoughtful of. By the way.
but this is the thing, right? For everybody in the chat, you know, and me and you included, it's what we do now, you know, is what's gonna make, you know, it's gonna either help or destroy the industry, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because either we build and we reach out into the lives of people who have yet to read comics, or we just let it die, you know, by doing what the mainstream is doing right now.
yeah.
You know? Yes.
Well, that's the sad part. If we don't, you know, again, is it worth going out in front of Marvel Studios with a picket fence? I mean, I guess that's one way to do it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if you have the capacity to do more, to create, and by God create, you know, go do it. Even if you have to do it on your free time, even if you're working full time and you have to do that, whatever, just make something. Make something.
Yeah.
Camp says, as much as I love these classic characters, too many people are resting on that work. New things need to be brought to the market as well. Very, very well stated, Cam. Yeah, so
now our goal is, you know, with these new, excuse me, with these new characters we're creating, and even with the old ones, you know, like with the comics that we fell in love with, you know, find somebody who hasn't read a comic, you know, and share it with them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Honor his legacy with that, you know,
Right.
especially the old ones, especially the old stuff, because if you have old comics, if you have old comics that Marvel has already benefited from, it's not like the new guys are benefiting from the old books. You know, if you got
Mhm.
old beat up issues, you know, maybe it's time for us to, if we really want to see a generation adjust, maybe we start thinking about giving them away. I know, like I've heard Tug, well, not Tug, I said Tug, yeah, Tug talked about bringing a bunch of comics he took from Alterna Press. He took them to a hospital, children's hospital. You know, that might be a great way to go through your old collection. Maybe there's
Right.
some old beat up reader copies that you don't read anymore, and introduce them to a whole new generation. And that would honor the legacy of a Stan Lee.
Right. Like right now, I got a 3-year-old nephew, and my sister is, for some reason, I don't know where he came across it, but he's been in love with superheroes. So she has to buy him like all these costumes of Spider-Man or Captain America, you know. So that's,
Yeah,
you know, that's like a start, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sean says the Marvel comics of my youth is not the Marvel comics of today. Today's Marvel comics is void of the magic Stan Lee infused in it years ago. Today, Marvel is lacking in art and in the coherent storytelling. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Mhm.
That's why I say, you know, if you have old stuff, that's the stuff, because you know that's stuff that they're not going to act. I mean, they're not going to directly benefit from it, except for the fact that those characters belong to whoever owns Marvel today, but
Right.
Disney. But regardless, that could still be a very, very powerful tool to share the love that Stan. That's the way we. It's like stories. It's like history. Like we pass those things on to other generations. Um, yeah, I would say so. Gush says I would hate for Critias and Elliot to build a new legacy and suffer in the end like Stanley suffered. It would break my heart. I think it's the end. He was in good hands. I think in the end he was in good hands, but perhaps.
Right. Well, that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, from what I understand, right, it was his daughter, right, something like that, or his stepdaughter,
Yeah, something like that.
right? You
But
know.
supposedly they had patched things up though at the end.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. That stuff was hard. That stuff was hard, you know, and he was not well. And it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time. But now we're gonna see all the mania of people selling off their Stan Lee
Hmm.
signatures.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's gonna be weird.
Yep.
It's funny because that's the normal way of the market, but that's still weird.
Yeah,
You know, I expect that, but
it's crazy, man.
well, God bless you, Mr. Lee, Mr. Liebritz.
So if you're a creator or you're a writer, today's your time to make an impact, you know, and keep carrying this industry on your back, because we all got to carry the industry now.
Yeah, yeah. At least our own little corner of it, you know.
Right, right.
We can't solve it for everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
we can certainly have a hand in at least a positive expression of it, right?
Right, right.
Cam says, I remember seeing reruns of the '60s Spider-Man animated TV show, and it lighting a and it's, I guess, it lighting a fire under my life. Yeah, yeah. Superheroes have been influential for me since. Absolutely, same with me. I've had an up and down, love hate with superheroes over the years. You know,
Right.
and it's not because of the superheroes; it's because of the way they were handled. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the reality. But hey, those, as I've said before, those characters aren't mine. And I've told other people, you know, I don't need Marvel and DC personally. This is my personal thing. I don't need Marvel and DC to make any changes for me, because everything that I care about is in my collection in my closet here, in my office. You know, it's all those books that I have. That's the Marvel I remember. So for the rest of you, the question is, if Marvel isn't producing it for you, and there's no reason to necessarily expect anyone to respond to us, not just because we said so, then that means that it is an important thing for you to seek out your new creators, you know, the people that you like, back them, support them, support their product, their process, their journey. You know, we don't have the same time. You know, we also have a new challenge today with technology. Um, uh, let's see here. So I heard the lawyer separated him from his daughter and started selling his blood and signatures.
Mm.
Oh, it's weird. What I was going to say was that the next challenge is going to be technology. So we don't have the same industry set up the way they did back then. In other words, when Stan was developing his stuff for Marvel, and DC was cooking like with grease, they had a robust print industry that we don't have today. You know, it's not quite that way. No one's buying periodicals like they used to back then. So it's important, you know, that if you do care about this stuff as is, if you want to see it in print and everything like that, then guys, there's only one way, because we're never going to get our stuff into Marvel DC the way that they have it set up right now.
Right.
And that's just the reality. That's a cold fact. Whether we want to acknowledge that or not, they're not looking for us to help them. They've already decided on their path. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't change at some point, but instead of waiting for that to happen, why not just start to, you know, as Zach says, you know, build that ark, or build that spaceship, as he says, you know, and create something fresh and new. But that spaceship needs fuel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can't take that to the next level without the help of the patrons. And so, you know, it's just to reiterate the importance, the delicate balance of the relationship between customer and producer, and why it would be so awesome if you guys were a part of that, you know.
He served, right? Didn't Stanley serve?
I believe he did. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Veterans Day to him.
Yeah.
And to Jack Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
Many creators. Jack in particular is my personal hero. But Stan is the stalwart, man. He was the master blaster for sure.
Right.
I remember in my favorite show, Spider-Man Has Amazing Friends. That was my favorite cartoon. I always say it was Dungeons and Dragons, but it's between those two, because I would always watch either one. Couldn't wait for it. And Dungeons and Dragons on CBS, and Spider-Man Has Amazing Friends on NBC. And anyway, when he would come on, hey, true believers, and he would talk, oh man, Excelsior, and I loved it, man. I loved it. Man, I remember he wrote the music to all those old '60s cartoons too.
Did he?
Yeah, he wrote the Hulk song. He wrote the Captain America song. I don't know if he wrote all of them. I know he wrote those. I'm pretty sure he wrote all of them. Doc Bruce Banner. belted by Camrys. Yeah, man. That's the man. That's the man right there. And then Tony Stark, da, 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 he's a cool exec with a heart of steel. Yeah, that was, which is weird because it was Iron Man. But anyway,
Not like jingles.
yeah. Well, Stan, man, Stan was he was trying to he was promoting his brand. He was promoting his product. You know, there was a, like I said, it was a much more robust time when Captain America throws his mighty shield. That's
Yeah, I
right.
remember that. I remember
That's
that.
right. That was his
Yeah.
too. And so back then you had radio, you had television, you had you know music like records. Remember the records I used to buy? You could play them, and you would hear the stories of the character on the records. Power
Right.
records. It was great. Uh,
I'm gonna mute myself real quick, right, Elliot?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Donald, what's up, man?
Not much, man. We just
Hey,
thought
man.
I'd pop in.
Sorry to hear about that, man. I had no idea about your
That's
particular.
okay.
Yeah, man.
That's all right. I didn't want to like broadcast my my personal things over Twitter and all that. You know, I try to keep some of that stuff in mind. But man, it's kind of made today a little sadder.
A little sadder, yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, we were just talking about how we can honor a legacy like that, through what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that what any of us is going to be the next great thing, but if you don't try it, I'm talking to anybody out there who's on the fence. If you don't try it, you'll never know. And you just gotta have some faith in, if anything, in yourself. Put your stuff out there, and that's kind of how we honor a guy like Stan. He did that, literally did that.
Yeah, not every one of his ideas was, gold. He had a lot of failures too, and that was the thing. He tried. He put it out there and said maybe people will like this, and they didn't. So he tried something else.
That's right. And that's why we were just saying how the importance of this crowdfunding system, it helps because we live in a different time where we don't have the easy access to print like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
Companies there aren't as much competition in print for that sort of thing that pays well enough either, too, by the way. They didn't pay that well back then either, I suppose. That's why guys like John Buscema were working two or three issues at a time, but or Jack Kirby for that matter. But still, it's not as available as it used to be. We can't just go anywhere to get a job like we used to do. So it's really important that the customers understand what we're trying to do. It's not simply a cash grab every time, Not that doesn't exist, but it is what it is.
It's gonna be really surreal seeing his cameos in the upcoming Marvel movies.
Yeah. I said earlier, I think this one hits me more heavy than Carrie Fisher's passing for some reason. Like this one,
listening.
Yeah, this one's definitely has different weight to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be an interesting time, man. It's gonna be an interesting time. I wonder. Well, God, I hope people will be respectful. Sometimes people get weird times like this.
I think most people will. I mean, I've rarely ever seen anybody say anything bad about Stan Lee. I think people will be pretty respectful of him.
Yeah, I'm getting all that. I'm getting all these little messages. Hey, man. Mm-hmm. It's funny. Oh, man. That's what I got going on. I got this hot girls on my table. Stan Lee passes. Gee whiz.
That's all right. He would probably enjoy that.
He probably would have.
I mean, look how many sexy characters he helped co-create.
I know. She whiz.
Man, that's such a legacy to leave behind too. I mean, very few people can say that they had an impact on the world, like literally a global impact.
Yeah.
His characters he helped create are are loved in every country. Children emulating them.
Mm-hmm.
People look up to Captain America and try to imitate his personality or his beliefs, as a role model.
I'm gonna get me some Stan Lee glasses. I'm gonna make it awesome. Man, that's a rough one, man. Oh, gee whiz. That's a doozy and a half for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh. But yeah, well, like I said earlier, it's like I said, life is about that, and then what do we do next? How do we carry on the legacy?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see what everyone's gonna bring to the table. I'm assuming we will.
I'm gonna bring a character that gets bit by a spider, and then he gets like these powers.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think that'll work. I don't think that'll take off.
No.
A guy that crawls up walls and swings on spider webs. Are they going to come from his butt?
I was thinking like his wrist, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That'll be a flop.
What about some guys who are born with powers? Do you think that'll work?
I don't know. You have to explain how they got these powers.
They just can't be born with it? Oh, well. That'll never make it. Oh, well. Quit now.
How about a guy that's like skinny and he's like really weak and he has a lot of heart, and he goes through an experiment and becomes like this American hero.
Huh. Everybody hates America. Can't do that.
Yeah.
No one's going to like that. Not even today.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Forget that.
If you do that, though, you got to turn him into a Nazi 60 years later.
That sounds like a good idea. Oh, I got one. How about a guy, right? Who's a scientist, and he gets exposed by like some type of radiation.
Like what? X-rays? Like X-rays?
Right. But he doesn't get cancer.
No.
He just transforms into a monster.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. What's wrong with you? No one will ever buy that.
I think Image already did that.
Yeah. DC's got something going on.
Oh, yeah. DC has damage. They already did that.
Yeah.
What's going on, John?
How's it going?
Hey, Mr. Malin. We're here celebrating the life of Mr. Stan Lee.
Excellent. Yep. So Stan passed. That sucks.
Yep.
And everyone will do our best to continue to make comics that are enjoyable for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So that looks very cool, Elliot. What are you doing?
This is going to be a print for a show I'm doing on. Was it called Small Business Saturday? The Saturday after Thanksgiving.
I don't know. Saturday, Black Friday.
Yeah, it's the Saturdays. Saturday right after is called Small Business Saturday.
Oh.
That's usually when people have like the big sales, and it's supposed to help small businesses, not just going to the mall to get gifts, but you're supposed to try to support small businesses. Like comic shops usually take advantage of this type of thing. So I'm going to be at a comic shop here in my neighborhood in Tampa. Well, not quite in my neighborhood, but in my town, called a shop called Yancey Street South, and we're doing a little print for the owner of the shop. He hired us to do this. It's me and a gentleman named Mark Pennington. He's going to be working on the Santa part of this piece, so it's a collaboration.
Mark Pennington?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's one of my buddies here in Tampa.
Oh, I didn't know he lived in Tampa.
Yeah, he was here. He came. He was one of the transplants for, if I'm not mistaken, for CrossGen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember that name from CrossGen, and didn't he also do some work on Fables?
That's possible. He ended up he did a lot of stuff at Marvel and DC over the years. He's got like 30 plus years of experience. But he was mostly an inker, but he's a fantastic illustrator. I mean, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He he does incredible oil paintings. He's killer. So anyway, he's one of my dudes. We hang sometimes.
No, that looks cool.
Hey John, I got a pitch for you, right?
Okay.
All right. So it's a group of 4 individuals that go to outer space, right? And they get hit with some type of like rays, like galactic rays or cosmic rays, right? And when they go back home, they start developing these powers. What do you think about that?
Nice.
It'll never work. It'll never work.
Excellent.
Then call them the Fantastic Four because it's 4 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Quick question for Donald: are you actually lifting that pen for that that dotting, or is that some kind of pen feature?
I'm lifting it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I got to get me one of those.
Yeah, right. He makes it look smooth, like he's just going up and down.
Yeah. Like you'd probably hear me. It'd be like tap 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 tap.
Is that digital? Oh, I see the crosshairs. That looks good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Still working on this double page spread. I've been streaming.
This is just practice for Donald. He's using this as a practice art to start up Night Stalker. So it is.
I'll tell you what, I'm not looking forward to actually using straight lines on Night Stalker.
No.
That's
What
the
do you
only
mean
thing.
straight lines?
Well, on Brutus, I'm specifically creating a world that just has, like uneven lines. Let me see if I can. You see like that. Even on this character, it's. Did you ever see Box Trolls or Paranorman?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And it's like that world was designed. Like I always say, my buildings look like melted butter when I draw them because they're all twisted. I'm taking an influence from Scotty Young and Jim Mahfood and Mike Huddleston.
Okay.
And I just want this to be a crazy world.
Right.
But you don't want to do that on the other project?
No, I want to do a more standard, like superhero kind of style for that.
Yeah, it might be
because it's pretty much Batman or Daredevil, so I wanted to reflect that kind of seriousness. Whereas Brutus is more whimsical.
No, I think it'll work for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So Malin, so what properties did you work on that Stanley created?
Oh, let's see. Probably none, I guess. I mean, he didn't create the Thunderbolts. He didn't create Cable. He didn't create New Warriors. So, I know stuff that he was
Marvel.
affiliated with. Yeah, he created Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I drew a Spider-Man in a background. So,
what was your run on Cable? How many issues did you do in there?
5.
5 issues. Oh, that's awesome.
Newer Mutants was the name of the storyline.
Oh, I gotta go back issue hunting.
Yeah.
Will you sign them for
They
me?
got a trade out too. I mean, it'd probably just be easier to grab the trade.
Oh, I guess. Thanks for ruining my plan.
John doesn't want to give autographs out.
You can just go pirate it. I don't do that. Don't pirate comics.
Donald being a bad influence.
Especially don't pirate create your own comics.
When does Jawbreakers is still coming out? It's still being printed, right?
Right. I think it was Rich is working on the file, right? Editing the files or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with what's going on with it. Last I heard, it was all set and ready to go. So I don't know.
John got his check and dipped. It's like, I'm gone. I don't need to be updated anymore. Time to move on.
Well, I paid attention to it for a long time. I just don't know when it's actually going to go. You know, I'm like everyone else. I'm like, are we ready? So I turn my stuff in on time. So
I think he said on Ethan's stream yesterday that he was formatting the files for the printer.
Yeah,
he's like in the middle of it.
Yeah. So I imagine it's going to be pretty quick. I don't know what would take it any longer. Everything's done. And I think he's using a fulfillment service, so it's not like he's really needing to do much beyond that, to the best of my knowledge. Even Graveyard Shift. I mean, I'm going to have this out before Jawbreakers, very possibly.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah, because I'm looking to go to print this week. So I'm waiting. I'm just waiting to find the if my dude doing my pre-press is going to get back from. I guess he went on a trip to Mexico, so I'm just waiting to get files. So as soon as I get the it's all done, then yeah, I'm ready to send it off to a printer.
Ooh-wee. Can't wait to get my copy.
Yeah,
we're gonna go Print Ninja, and we're gonna use expedited shipping. And as soon as I get a delivery date, I'm gonna be planning on getting out to Jersey. We're gonna hire a couple people to come out and help and stuff boxes for whatever, a few days, a week, whatever it's gonna take.
Why Jersey?
Yeah, why Jersey?
That's where my co-creator's at, Mark. So he's willing to get all the stuff for shipping all set up. So, and he'll be able to get, he'll have, you know, all the packages will need an address. So he'll have whatever, a PO box, all that stuff set up. So
how much you got the Gemini shippers for?
I don't know. We're gonna be digging into all that stuff here at the same time. So it's gonna be 2 to 3 weeks just for Print Ninja to get the books back. So I think about 3 weeks. So
right, because I reached out to Gemini and they gave me a price there for a whole pallet.
Oh yeah,
I think it came out to like 31 or 38 cents Gemini package, you know.
But yeah, so I can easily show up almost any time and you know, get the signing and the sketching and all that stuff done. But Mark can't necessarily get out to Michigan at any time and you know, do a whole heck of a lot. So
he's lazy.
Yeah, well, he has a regular job and stuff. So
So that's crazy, man. So you're almost done. That's incredible, man. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get it out before Christmas. But, you know, whatever, when we get all our final dates for everything, it could be January. But that'll still be significantly, you know, a good month before our estimated. But I'm very hopeful that it'll be before Christmas. I think fans will be, you know, those that don't pay super close attention, they'll be surprised. They're like, oh, I thought we weren't getting this for another 2 months. And here it is right before Christmas in my mailbox.
Bam.
Yeah. So, yeah, very excited.
I'm excited. More projects in my collection. I'm taking all the Comics Gate projects and I'm just putting them away. I'm not even reading them.
For resale?
No, I just want to keep them. It's like, you know, because these are the very first projects, and you know, I want to see where the future takes these projects. You know, they be collectibles, so I just want to keep them untouched.
Yeah, but you want to read them, don't you?
I do, but maybe in the future. I'll wait for second prints.
Donald, why did you delete that entire thing and then restart it?
Because I want it to be. I don't want it to be rendered.
Oh, jeez.
Why?
Because I'm just like, it looked good, and then you deleted it. I'm like, you're not going to get this done. See, look at that. Look at that. He did it again. See all that work? He's like, I don't want that stuff.
Look, some of us aren't as confident in our line as you and Elliot. Fucking tangent.
What are you talking about? I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
You got like OCD with the lines, Donald?
I try to avoid tangents whenever possible.
Right.
I hate them. Like over here, I gotta fix this dude.
There's a long delay on my feed here. So I just switched over to oh, here we go. All right.
I'll tell my wife you called me long.
Oh la la.
Well,
what you guys got planned for today?
Blowing leaves.
Oh man.
Well,
turn you into a werewolf?
What?
Is it going to turn you into a werewolf?
I hope so. I already did round 1 of leaf blowing, and but all the school kids are getting out right now, so I didn't want to be out there, you know, messing around while they're all walking back from school. So
today?
Yeah, oh yeah. Isn't it a Monday?
Yeah, but it's no school today.
Why not?
My kid's not in school.
Today's Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Aren't you a veteran?
Yeah, but I don't have kids. I don't pay attention to
Hey, man. Happy Veterans Day, man. Thank you for your
Veterans Day, John.
Just National Guard, guys. I never went overseas. I never did anything crazy. So.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You served. That's
yeah.
What it is.
Yeah.
You took the chance. National Guard could be called up for something.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, my cousin's in National Guard, and they've been called up out there a few times.
Yeah. That's what didn't Zach get called up a couple times? And he wasn't regular serviceman, was he?
He was regular Army and I think a Marine.
Whew.
And I think he was guard for maybe the Army for a little bit, but then I think that's why when he ended up going into another
branch
armed service. Yeah. So
that guy is high speed, man. High speed.
Yeah.
Only the high speed guys did both the Marines and the Army.
Yeah.
Well, what did you do? Did you do
Army.
both? Yeah, me too.
No, but we're high speed too, man.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the high speed of the high speed. Yeah. Come on, man. That was crazy. It was enough to go to the 8 weeks. Well, how much was it for some people? Some people it's 13 weeks now for basic training, if I'm not mistaken.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Basic training is longer now than it used to be in the Army.
Well, when I went, it was like 9 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, it was 9 weeks. Yeah.
9 weeks. That's right. That's about right. Now it's 13. Like the
wow.
Yeah.
Is that with the AIT? Like you're doing infantry, or is that?
No, that's basic training.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it was in the Marine Corps too.
Yeah. Huh.
They were always longer. That's why,
Yeah, so we did, I believe it was 1 week, which was, you're basically signing up, you get your boots, they teach you a little bit of marching. I can't remember what it's called. Something like reception, something like that. But you do a week.
Yeah.
Pretty much a week of just kind of getting your basics in order.
Right.
And maybe 4 or 5 days. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was a week.
I know when I got there.
Then you do 8 weeks of legit basic yelled at. And because when I first got there, I was like, because you still have like drill sergeants kind of giving you the, here's how you march and whatever. But they're nice. They're not like jerks. And I was like, oh, this is nothing. And then they after that they load you up on the cattle car, the cattle bus, whatever. And there's what happened to be my actual drill sergeant, one of the drill sergeants that I had. And then they stare you down the entire bus ride, like, to the actual spot. You got to get your photo taken on the way.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, I think they make you drink 1 or 2 full canteens of water. Yeah. And then they get you into the basic, and then that quiet drill sergeant that stares you down the entire ride just lights up on you, and then all the other drill sergeants come and rush the cattle buses and get everybody, get out of there, like, oh
man. I didn't have it. Where did you go to basic training at?
Fort Sill.
Okay, so I went to Fort Jackson, and so I'm in there, and we were in these older barracks. They weren't called starships. Starships were newer, but anyway, they had this. They were basically 4 platoons. Is that right? Yeah, 4 platoons in the barracks, in one barracks. Mm-hmm. So we occupied half of a floor. There were 3 floors. There was the headquarters floor and the 2 other floors. Anyway, so the commandos, which is I think 2nd platoon, they had a drill sergeant who was Filipino, and he had a very, very thick accent. So he would say, "Everybody go to Robert, Robert." I couldn't understand a word he said. And man, he was smoking everybody all the time. But I could only hear private in that private. That's all he would say. And oh man, so one day, this one guy in my platoon, his name was Carmelo. He decides that we were highly competitive, and my guys were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," and I said, "No, you guys better shut up." And sure enough, Carmelo goes and he decides as he's crawling down the steps, he's gonna spit on the floor of second platoon. As he does it, he spits on that drill sergeant's foot. Oh man, we got burned that day. It was just highly smoked. It was awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
It was the stuff of legends. It was great. Oh.
Yeah, I did BCT in Fort Benning.
That's Georgia, right?
Yeah, that thing was insane. They make us walk. They made us march to our barracks, you know. And then when we got there was like these drill sergeants, and they were on the table. There were like tables lined up with water, with cups of water. And as we march, and the lieutenant does, "Don't worry, guys. You know, before we get to training, we're gonna use some ice cream." And everybody's all excited. "Oh, ice cream! Oh, yeah, nice." You know. And when we got down there, we had all these drill sergeants just yelling in our face, "Hurry up! Drink the water!" And I'm spilling water myself. People spilling water. So, grab your bags! Line up! Toe the line! It was crazy.
Oh man,
crazy. Yeah. I'll never forget it, man.
Yeah.
And then one time, the lunch ladies, they gave us they fill out plates, like they overfilled it with food. And the drill sergeant came in and he saw it. And he was like, "Oh, you guys are eating well, huh? All right, enjoy." So
Elliot, did you guys have female privates there in training, or?
We did not. Well, they were on the post, but they were there was a different section. They were in the Mali barracks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My cousin had the female barracks across from his in Fort Jackson.
That would never work for me. That would have been terrible. It was bad enough. We would march by and we were singing cadences that were totally inappropriate.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah. Oh my God. And they were singing to us too. It was a good time. Everyone was toxically masculine back then.
Yeah, when I went to Fort Sill, we had, it was a lot of cuss words, and but then when I got to Fort Gordon, Georgia, the same ones were cleaned up, and I was like, "Oh, this is different."
What did you do in Georgia? Was that AIT?
Yeah. For communications, 31 Lima, Cable Dog. So we ran communication lines, and it's all right.
The day before I did the gas chamber, they had us do navigation, and so I was running through the woods and I cut my neck on a branch. So the next day when we did to the gas chamber, my entire scar that I had, like the cut, it was burning. It felt like somebody put a lighter to my neck.
Jeez.
It was crazy.
Yeah. I love telling the story about the gas chamber. Everybody was running around flapping their arms like ducks and spewing vomit out of their nose. It was
I had to go in 3 times because I couldn't get my chin strap on.
They did something to me. They said they did the whole thing. Test what is it called? Testing something clear or whatever, your mask. So I did it and I couldn't wait to get out. I guess you could see it. It must have been just in my eyes, obviously, because you couldn't see. So I'm like, what the hell? And I was terrified. It was like a Halloween thing for me. And they're like, yeah, all right, Fernandez, take off that mask. I said, no, mumbling the thing. All right. And they ripped it off my face. Oh man. And instead of they said, so first I was holding my breath and they said, open your eyes. I shook my head. No, they said, open your eyes. And they shoved me and I opened my eyes and the burn was so fast that I took a gulp of air. And it was, oh man. And I just started to run. Don't run. I'm like, oh man. Those are the best stories, man. You'll never have, you'll always be the guy with the best stories in the room when you tell your basic training stories.
Yeah. I think I have I think, because we got like a yearbook, or like a class book, whatever,
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to mine, but I do believe that in there was actually a picture of me, I think, coming out of the gas chamber. So I don't know if I was like snotted up or what. I think there was another one of me going over it like a rope course too. So
oh yeah. We had do you remember that movie Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito, where he plays a civilian teacher or a teacher who's trying to do something, gets in trouble, so he has to teach a bunch of soldiers to get their GED when they're in basic training, or something had happened. And so it was all filmed at Fort Jackson. So they did the it's an old movie, it's like early 90s, but they did the rope course there was Victory Tower from Fort Jackson. And I was like, oh man. Then I remember how terrified I was of that thing. I got messed up on that. I actually slipped up, and you know how you're supposed to put your body out like an L shape for rappelling?
Right.
I had mine L-shaped, but I slipped, and so I ended up on my ass facing the sky with my legs up in the air. So I was so scared. I was just like, what are you gonna do, Fernandez? What are you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. Just I'm thinking about it.
Panic. What are you gonna do? Panic.
What else am I gonna do? Holy hell! Yeah, it was a good time. I finally figured it out. I said no. That was the first time that I just said I'm not gonna let this beat me. That was the official moment for me. Right. And I turned my body around, got back into the L shape, and I buzzed down like a damn mountain trooper or something. I was like, psh, psh, yeah.
I think they filmed In the Army Now. I think is what it was called. It was one of the Pauly Shore movies when he was still popular for a minute.
Right.
And they filmed that at Fort Sill, I do believe. And I think actually not too long before I arrived.
Oh, perfect. So you got a little bit of a preview of the post.
Yeah. I heard when I was there, this guy, when they were doing FTX, he broke his ankle.
Yeah. Oh, dude, man, I was so tired during FTX, and I was laying down in the little dugout, the foxhole stuff, and I was in full mop gear, and I just remember I fell asleep there, like in the prone position, and, like fireworks, whatever. We were under like a fake assault,
Yeah.
I just remember opening my eyes and seeing like what looked like fireworks, and then just going right back to sleep. No time for that, man. I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
You talking about the traces when they go over your head?
No, it looked like fireworks, man. I mean, we did that too, where you're out there and you're low crawling and they're shooting all those tracers over your head, and that was fun though. I mean, I liked that.
You're talking about the bivouac when you're out there in the woods. We had our foxhole. It happened with me and my buddy. My buddy was crazy. He was from Arkansas, and he talked he looked like Popeye. In my memory, he looks like Popeye. He's like, "Hey, Fernandez." I said, "What's up, Jimmy?" He goes, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, so he takes out the non-dairy creamer, and he starts to he opens up a pack and lights a match, and if you sprinkle non-dairy creamer as it falls down, it's flammable. And they just torch. I said, "Dude, what are you doing? We got dry leaves all over the place." He's like, "What? It's fun." I said, No, put that away. We're not doing that tonight. I don't want to die in this foxhole like that. Oh man, it was a crazy time. We had some great guys though, man. All the great names too. It's like in every war movie, every name you can think of. I had a guy named Zapata, and so every time we say Zapata, it's always weird names. Like we had a guy named Perro, and so we could call him Doggy because it was Spanish for dog, and we would bark at him. It's awesome. Then there's this one guy who claimed to know the actor that played what was that guy's name? Grizzly Adams, which in retrospect was probably true, because who would claim to know Grizzly Adams? But he was like, he was hoping to impress us with that, and we kept mocking him and beating him up for that. This is before the internet, so this was genuine abuse. And he was like, he ended up writing a note before we went to the firing range, and a suicide note. And he had a list of the guys he was taking with him, and guess who was number one?
You.
That's right. Did not like me. And I was like, really? I didn't think I was messing with you that bad. That's how ignorant I was. Damn fool. I almost got shot that day. So we had to pull guard duty on him all night. Oh man, when drill sergeant showed up for that, he was so mad. He said, if you want to die, just tell me. I will do it for you. He took a knife out and he started cutting the hairs off of his arm with his Bowie knife. And it was crazy because he was a hairy dude. And he just started to like just slide the blade across, and it just all the hair just started tingling down. I was like, oh, he's crazy. He's gonna kill us. Oh man. And then we had this guy named Booer. When we get into AIT, I ended up staying on Fort Jackson for AIT. And Booer did not want to stay in. He decided that he was going to get out. But he kept making it back for the rest of us because the way he thought he was going to do it was to act like he was crazy. And he was just not going to do his laundry, and he was going to do some weird stuff. But all he did was get us in trouble. Man, I jacked that guy up. I was so mad. I was the one time I lost my cool. I was like, no, I will kill you. And
Right.
Over laundry, so go figure.
You know, we had a guy like that who always constantly got to smoke, and even the drill sergeant got upset to the point he was like, you know, I'm gonna go home, and whatever happens tonight, I don't want to know about it. And he was like letting us know what to do. So we took this guy and we beat him with our boots, you know.
Oh.
And then another drill sergeant came in and caught us, and we got smoked. But when they called my drill sergeant and we took it to private, he was okay with it. He let us slide.
What? That's crazy. Yeah. The part that I thought was weird was when I got out of basic and I went to go see my drill sergeant. So I was still stationed there on Fort Jackson for a little time, and I went to visit them, and they're like, hey, Fernandez, how you doing? It was all different. It was so cool. That was like really being part of a brotherhood at that point. But what was fascinating though was they had females in their barracks now, and that was weird. That was really weird because they were like, hey, drill sergeant, can I do this? And they really couldn't say a lot because they were so afraid of getting in trouble. So like, okay. And they would just like they got away with anything. Like, how did they even do push-ups back then? What's wrong with these girls? Gee whiz. But nowadays, though, they're a lot more competitive. But back then, it was a weird time.
Yep.
I keep getting this call from
How'd you guys do on what would you get, like expert for rifle, marksman?
I just got marksman. I wasn't that good at it. I was good, but I couldn't get expert. I bet you got expert.
Well, what about you, Antonio?
Me, no. I had a they had plans for me to put me with another platoon just to redo it because I failed it that week. But I didn't get to get through it.
Yeah, Antonio, come on. Yeah, I got double expert.
Oh.
He's looking to rub it in.
He wanted with somebody else's expert.
Yeah, that's now the one expert's legit. That's the rifle. The second expert is grenade. So I don't know what you guys did, but for grenade, that was just you had to know, identify like 5 different types of grenades, and then you had to be able to throw them and make them within, like the 5-meter circle from behind a tree trunk. You had to do that where you throw it in the bunker, roll away.
Yeah.
I was terrible at that.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
That's like an easy expert.
I couldn't. I've always been bad at throwing like baseballs and stuff like that, and I would always throw it crooked or I throw it down first instead or whatever. So, like I would throw weird. Like I wouldn't let it go on time. So they tell me, they go, ready, twisted pull pin, and then I go and I launch it, but it only landed like 3 feet in front of the wall. And Drill Sergeant goes, he grabs me by the vest and goes, throw farther, throw farther. That was such a moron. Oh man. Yeah, I see people asking about Stanley. Hey, we've already talked about that, and it's not trying to be disrespectful.
Get out, go.
Just it's also Veterans Day. We don't want to forget our vets.
Yeah, I did the my favorite. One of my favorite was, aside from the gas chamber, was setting up the landmines.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, I see the light. I see the light. Is that right?
Yeah. When you see the little blue light.
Yeah. Right. I don't remember the whole process. I remember them setting it off like, what was it, like Special Weapons Day, something like that. They set off 2 real mine, or what are the Claymore, the scissor deals, and then you go on and you shoot like the M60 and whatnot. But I remember when they set off those the mines, the Claymores, I was, they set them way off. We were like in like some kind of bleachered section, and when they set them off, I mean, they were way far away, but it blew so much dirt up into the air, and it came back like big dirt chunks. Like, we're, I don't know, 100, 200 feet away from where they set these off. And, everyone had to have their hard hats on because big dirt chunks came back and were landing on us.
Wow.
And I remember between that and the, when you had to throw your actual grenades, I was like, man, like a grenade is almost like a mine going off in a movie. And a mine is almost like a bomb going off in a movie.
Yeah.
I was like, it just kind of reset my perspective on, explosions in films. I was like, wow, these are a lot more powerful than I actually thought they were. So,
did they make you run a full battle rattle?
That sounds familiar.
They used to make us run with all our gear on.
Oh yeah. We did
rucksacks, everything, rifle and all.
Oh, look, guys. I'm not trying to brag about my high tea or anything, but look, I went in as a couch potato. I had, I was 17, and I had no real fighting skills, athletic skills, firing skills. Like, even my drill sergeants were like, do you do a lot of hunting out in Michigan? I'm like, no. I'm like, I play duck hunt. But when we got to basic, I was made, in the first, I was made a road guard. So for people that don't know, when the platoons are all going down the regular, like, civilian streets or any streets, your road guards have to run out in front. They have to block traffic, let everything move, and then they get relieved. Then you have to sprint again up to the front.
Yeah.
Keep doing this over and over again. So as soon as I got to basic, I was made a road guard. They just took people who, their bunks were the closest to where we had all came in. Like, first 2 bunks in each row, you're road guards. Grab a vest.
Right.
So from day one, I was a road guard, and I'm just not in shape. I'm not like overweight or anything, but I'm just not athletic. Right. And I had to build everything up, all the lungs, everything, the athleticism. But anyways, every time our platoon would get, do something wrong, and it would be like, run back to the barracks. So road guards would have to outrun everybody continually from sprint to sprint to sprint to sprint. And so that made me a pretty good runner, pretty good, physical. But the thing was, and nobody in our barracks knew this until right at the end, everybody else switched out road guards. So you would have road guards that were only intended to be road guards for, I think, a week. Like that was how, after a week, it was supposed to be a new set of road guards would be picked.
Right.
We never knew that. Our drill sergeants never told us that. So the same, 8 road guards were road guards from beginning to end. And so, yeah, for running, I mean, I remember, okay, so what this was leading me to was one time we all got bussed out to do, some obstacle course or something like that. And we were waiting for the buses to come back, but they couldn't get the buses back. And they've told us a million times, always, no matter what, when you leave your barrack, you have your road guard vest with you, no matter what.
Yeah.
And what happened was all these dipshits figured, well, we're getting bussed out there. We're going to get bussed back. And yeah, that was the plan. But the buses, for whatever reason, couldn't make it out there. So we were all going to march back. And when they asked road guards, I always brought my vest. I was like, well, I know if I don't, the one time I don't, it's going to be my ass, So I bring my vest to this obstacle course. We all go out there. I mean, everybody, all the, I think that's what they were called, were the starship. Like all the barracks, everybody was out there. It was a big old
Yeah.
jamboree for these obstacle courses. And then when they said we're going to march, nobody had a vest except me. Except me. And then people were like, yeah, Malin, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about? This is our ass, man. And like, yeah, good for our platoon. One guy brought his vest. So they ran everyone back. They put me in the back as kind of like a yield sign. They had no option. Like, that's what they did. So they ran us all through the streets, and I stayed in the back. But dude, I'm grabbing people's rifles. I'm grabbing bags. I'm helping people. I'm like, all the stragglers in the back. I'm like, here, give me this, dude. Give me this. I'm like, doop, 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 doop. That's a man's man, ladies and
I wasn't expecting that to be the end, but you're right. Very good. Very good. Good on you. Good form.
Yeah.
Good form. Wow.
Well, dude, look, I was also a smoker when I went in, but I quit smoking, clearly. We couldn't smoke in basic, but AIT, that was the first thing I did was light up a cigarette. But same thing, man. I was in really good shape, and the running was no problem. I'd run, I'd smoke a cigarette. I mean, I was terrible. I was terrible.
Golly, man. Yeah, I remember that too. I remember we were the other experiences I had. I remember I was they're always basic training because I was a soldier in peacetime too, so we didn't get a chance to. I joined during Desert Storm, but it was over by the time I graduated high school. So I go in. That was just my little high tea moment. That didn't happen. But
Uncanny Kodiak is writing in there that Lee entered the United States Army in early 1942 and served with the U.S. as a member of the Signal Corps, repairing telegraph poles and other communications equipment. That sounds very much like what I did, guys. 31 Lima. So we would climb up telephone poles. We would tie our communication cables to them. We would run them up poles, down poles, throw them in ditches, and connect phones. Like even in the guard, it was terrible. I almost hate to fess up to all the stuff we got away with in the guard. But when we do like our 2 weeks, they would tell us, oh, well, run these phones from one tent to the other tent, and we do it. And then they're like, well, we want you guys to have a phone in your tent, so when we need you, we'll be able to just dial you up. And we're like, yeah, sure, because what are you going to say? No. So we'd hook it up. We just didn't connect the wires. Dude, we got away with murder. I mean, 31 Lima, I mean, like, essentially, when you go out on your 2 weeks, you'd work for like a day, 2 days, maybe setting up communications. But the rest of the time, no one cared about you. We went out, we sunbathed on top of trucks out in the woods and railing. And these other guys, they were in the communication trucks, the kind of Humvees with the big communication boxes on the back. People would sit in them. Yeah. We went out to this one location. They had two of those trucks, tailgates down, and these guys had pre-planned this whole deal. They built up a platform in between the two trucks, basically a patio. They covered their entire area with a giant blue tarp. I'm not even kidding you. Like no camo, a big giant blue tarp. And we went in there, and I shit you not, middle of the day, we were drinking and watching Darkman on a projector. I mean, these guys like had the deal going on. They were out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. They knew nobody was going to come by. They probably would have even known if someone was going to come by because of the communications angle, So, but they got away with murder, and other people did too. I mean, it was almost a free for all for Signal.
Well, it sounds to me like you were like those guys in the A-Team movie when they were just hanging out and just having fun versus doing anything else.
It's probably close to that. I didn't see it. It's probably close to that.
I love it. I love those type of stories. Yeah, man. The downer for me was when I got into my regular job. I was a records clerk, so I had tested for that, and I decided to get into that, thinking I'd go to college. Never did. mess around, do all this different stuff. And so it was the worst situation for me because it was like a day job, like an office job that always sucks when people are always micromanaging you, but except they can go into your barracks and criticize what you were doing in there too. And so we're always getting in trouble, always. And I hated my NCOIC. His name was Marcolini, and they said I looked like him. He was a very Italian-looking guy he kept his hair short, but he didn't have it very faded. I kept mine faded. They called me Marcolini Jr. But so he would come in and he go, "Where's Fernandez?" Just to bust my chops. Like, oh, and you can't say anything. There's no HR to talk to. You can't complain. You just stupid Marcolini. And yeah, but one time on Fort Jackson, I decided that I wanted. Well, forget about Fort Jackson. After I leave Fort Jackson, I had married my first wife at that point, and I went to be with her at Fort Lewis, Washington, which for me was awesome. I kind of wish that I wish I had never really cared about this person, because I could have just gone to my original post, which would have been in somewhere in Alaska. I wasn't sure it was going to be Fairbanks or not, and I really feel like I missed out on that. But I get to Fort Lewis, and that was a whole other problem. So they had problems like West Coast gang problems. Like there was some of the Rangers in the Ranger battalion there were living off post, and they got into some kind of trouble with some Crips. And the Rangers decided they were going to back each other up, man. And that got ugly fast. It became like a news thing all over the country. They had like a shootout in the middle of Telecom. Telecom was like this really rough area of Tacoma. Oh my gosh. And I was like, really? That happened here? Oh, let's pass the drinks. Let's have a good time. We're so stupid. Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble with the MPs there. Good times.
Same stuff.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you got nothing to do but to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For show.
It's funny. I put Rangers in shootout, and the first thing pops up is Tacoma.
See, that was us. Well, it wasn't me. I mean, I supported those guys. I supported them like in their records. I was their records clerk.
Does the off-duty soldiers shoot it out with drug suspects?
Yeah, what year was that?
89, right?
Yeah, I was around that time. Yeah. I was there. I got in there later, but there was still a lot of hot stuff around that area. Yeah, it was nuts.
Says here, no injuries were reported, and the only people arrested were two of the suspect drug dealers who were charged with assault and weapons offenses.
Yeah, but the Rangers got in some deep shit that time too. It was rough. Otherwise, we were just having parties, hanging out at the NCO club. What's up, hey?
Says here, the group of soldiers were helping defend the resident Staff Sergeant William Folk, a 12-year Army man who vowed Sunday that he would not leave his home without a fight.
Yep.
Yeah, in AIT, I think I went to it was some holiday. I don't remember which one, but we got to go out and go to like a lake, and we rented a pontoon, like me and I don't know 4 or 5 other guys, and it was cool, man. But I fell asleep, in the sun, and I was like red as a lobster. And those green blankets at the barracks, I mean, those things are like Brillo pads. If you got sunburn, they're the absolute worst. And man, it was complete hell for, I don't know, a week just trying to get past that sunburn. But what should have been fun was, it was terrible.
Have you ever been tested for narcolepsy, John? A lot of your stories seem to involve you being asleep.
Yeah. Look, I was never great. I got another. Now that you brought that up, Donald, I got another good fall asleep story. But yeah, look, I've never been great at even staying up 24 hours. Like, me doing like a 48-hour thing is nearly impossible. Yeah. So when I think it was when we marched back from the 3-day FTX, I think it was in basic. And our drill sergeants decided that once we got back to our barracks in the middle of the night, that we were going to do our laundry, like get all of our gear in order, so all the other barracks would be able to, I guess, access the laundry room like during the morning and shit. Right. And I mean, we are just whooped. I mean, 100% whooped. And I remember we were all standing in this laundry room, and all the privates were all up against the wall. The drill sergeants are just there, just kind of telling us what we're gonna do. And I remember like they smacked someone, I don't know, with a hat or something, because he had fallen asleep standing up. And I remember thinking, I was like, what a dope, falling asleep standing up with the drill sergeant there. And it probably wasn't more than a minute later where my eyes had closed and then I was getting slapped with a hat. I fell asleep, man, standing up. I was like, I was tired and surprised. I was like, whoa, I didn't know that was coming.
Did you know that, speaking of your sunburn, by the way, did you know that you can get in trouble for having a sunburn?
Yep. Yeah. Damaging government property.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I have, go ahead. Who's that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's why it's not a place for people who want to be.
And they used to say you can only do missionary too.
What?
Yeah, they used to tell us you can only do missionary, only missionary position.
Oh, that's different kind of army. But no, we had this guy. His name was White, Private White, and we used to call him Snow White because he was very white. I mean, he was like really white. Mm-hmm. And he looked like Snow White from the male version. He had the dark hair, he had very like pink eyelids, and then everything else was very, very, very white. So on one of these occasions, after a particular exercise that we had done, it was right at the end, because it was right after that, the bivouac, because right after the bivouac is graduation. So we were supposed to. We did all that stuff that you're talking about. We had to get cleaned up, whatever. We had to clean our weapons and do all that kind of stuff. And and we decide we're all gonna hit the hay, and we're gonna get ready for the next day and whatever was left before the end of before graduation ceremony. So Private White had decided he wanted to go to the bathroom, but prior to his bathroom trip that night, we had received information that the plumbing in the barracks was damaged, and all the water was so hot it was coming out of the faucets like steam. And so if you try to use the bathroom or run the urinal, you could just use a urinal and step back and flush, because the steam coming out of that would give you a 3rd-degree burn. And so it was, because it was an old barracks, and so he used very old school plumbing techniques, and that was the thing. So that night we're all sleeping. Drill sergeant, the Filipino drill sergeant, is like, "Private, make sure, private, don't do the private, don't turn the water private." And he's like, "All right, drill sergeant." By the time we were done, we kind of knew everything he was saying. We just didn't. I couldn't tell you what it was that he was saying today. I just knew it then. So finally, Private White decides he's going to go in there. He forgets that information about the steam, and he sits in the toilet in one of the stalls, and he decides to flush the toilet while he's on the toilet. And he jumps out of that bathroom butt-ass naked with steam coming off of his back. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life, because we hear, "Ah!" and it sounded like the Daffy Duck in those old cartoons. And he's running through the hall naked with steam coming off his back. He ended up graduating in his PT uniform with bandages everywhere, because he ended up with 3rd-degree burns all over his back and body.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. Wasn't funny, but we laughed.
Yeah.
But it was not fun. Oh,
we had one time, I don't remember if it was, I think it was basic, and it might have been AIT, I don't know, but we had to go, where you go from point A to point B, with the compass, and you're basically moving through the woods, and everyone know that when you went from like whatever, I don't know, point C to point D, that there would be this ambush area. This is where the hostiles are at. And it was just other people. Everyone had blanks, and the suppressors up on the tip of your rifle and all that stuff. Oh, yeah. But like my group, they were just irritating me, because like my understanding was always you don't go as, very close. You want to have a distance for, one grenade will take out everyone if you're too close. And everybody was just too damn close. So I kind of just branched myself off from everyone. And it was pretty dark. But when we got to that one point where we knew we were supposed to be ambushed, I could see those guys, they could see me. And, the grass was kind of high, big, high leafy grass, like a good ambush point. But we just kind of walked right through it and nothing ever happened. And we all sat down at some point and we're like, this is the right spot, right? Like, we're not off the map, are we? Like, what's going on? Weren't we supposed to be ambushed here? And it turned out we actually lost somebody. And this dude was like the Michael Clark Duncan from the Green Mile, just like, the big black guy. I mean, real nice guy, but he somewhere got lost. And all of a sudden we start hearing all this gunfire, and it's way behind. Like, we had walked right past it, and we hear all this gunfire. And then our Michael Clark Duncan dude comes running like Forrest Gump right at us. And sadly, he would have been shot because someone with the blank went, like, I was just like, holy crap. But yeah, apparently we walked right through the ambush point and nobody saw us. We were perfectly quiet and we got through it, no problem. And only Michael Clark Duncan eventually set these guys off. Probably being like, hey guys, where'd you go? Where'd everyone go?
That sounds like John Candy in Stripes.
Oh
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my favorite part of basic was the torture, like the torture PT. Like, we had to do we would on regular basis do PT inside of our conference room, and they say you're not leaving here till the walls sweat. And I thought that was ridiculous. I never heard anything so stupid as that until I saw the walls sweat. It was so much perspiration, so much humidity and steam. Like, the walls were pouring with I don't know what it was. I guess it's got to be, I don't know. It's some condensation of some sort. It would just filled the whole room.
The body.
Everyone just breathing heavy, and the doors were closed. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. And then we had, of course, right before we get to basic, we had to get haircuts. And we had just come off the FTX, the bivouac, and I'm walking around like a monster, like a Sasquatch, and we started to get our haircuts. I never shaved in the field. Did you ever shave in the field?
I had to shave maybe a couple times through all of basic because I could barely grow a beard and I was blonde too. So only one time did I ever get called out, I think, for ever needing to shave. And when I got called out, I was like, sweet, I got to shave.
Well, I didn't want to shave because especially in the bivouac, because it wasn't comfortable and it wasn't like, it didn't seem sanitary. I always figured because I was always susceptible to bumps. So I didn't want to deal with that. So I just kept caking on my camouflage every day, but I'd pick different patterns. So I'd be, on one day I'd be, well, it ended up at the, I had like the official like camouflage look one day, and all the guys were, hey, Fernandez, do that thing on my face. And I do that thing on their face. And then on another day, the next day, because it was kind of falling off, I changed it to something else. I turned it into some sort of like a reverse thing. Then eventually I had like green face with black stripes going off like tiger stripes. And another day I'd do a black face with green stripes coming across the other direction. And then finally I went all Hulk. I just went all green. It was crazy. And that was the only way I could get through that time, though, because it was rough. I was like, I hated that experience. That was not comfortable at all. But it worked out at the end. We survived. It was a crazy time. I remember eating breakfast on the chow line in the woods. We had to sneak around in a formation first to get to the chow line. And then I'm thinking the whole time, but if once we get here, though, they're going to shoot us on the chow line. We snuck up to the chow line, but it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it was all right. It was good times. The good old days.
Yeah. KP was good too, because when you get it in basic, if I recall correctly, we couldn't eat cheeseburgers until we got to a certain point in our training. And I don't remember what it was. But if you're in KP, you can eat all the cheeseburgers you want.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounded cool. You got away with a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Malin.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not appreciating that right now.
Yeah, I'm always trying to find the angle.
High T.
Low drag.
Low drag. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. I remember we had a couple guys that, weren't so, well, I don't know. They're borderline, low IQ kind of type dudes. This one guy, Lombardi, I think his name was Lombardo. But they could never get the, all the rifle drills correct.
Oh.
So when it came, because I think the drill sergeants put us under the impression like everybody had to get this together because everyone had to be there for, this like final evaluation, going through all your motions. And at the end of the day, they took the two low IQ dudes that just could not get it together, and they put them on KP. So we did our test and we did very well. So
they ended up with cheeseburgers while you guys did your evaluation.
Yeah, that's some bull crap, ain't it?
That's what you get eating cheeseburgers on the chow line.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I used to love the eggs, the omelets in the Army. Oh man, I loved watching them do it too. They would just pour out whatever that stuff was. I think it was eggs, right? It wasn't other stuff. And then they pour it out and they fold it in half with the stuff inside of it. Oh,
they throw them together real quick. Yeah, it looked good.
It was great. It was great. The worst part was when you were in regular Army. That happened to me around the holidays. Enough people had taken leave that I wasn't going home that year for some reason, at least not at that time. So I spent Christmas by myself with a couple of buddies in the barracks. Very depressing, man. That's no wonder people hate their lives. But so I'm there, and then sure enough, I missed a chow hall, so I had to run all over the post to find one that wasn't closed yet, and that was no fun. But the food was so good, it was like I didn't want to miss it ever again. I was like, no way.
Yeah. I've never really experienced that I can recall military food ever being bad. Even MREs, I didn't mind MREs. Even before I was in the military, like my grandpa would have these MREs in his basement. We just go down there and eat them.
Yeah. I remember. I loved those things. Even when they were a little salty, I loved them. The only ones I didn't like was the rice one. The rice was okay. I mean, I would eat it, but it just wasn't my favorite. My favorite was the omelet. And everybody hates the omelet because that's gross. I'm like, I thought it was.
Well, I'm not all about rice either way, so I'm sure I wouldn't have liked that either. So
the thing we used to do is we would sell hot cocoa packs like cigarettes in prison. It was like, hey, you got hot cocoa? I'll buy one from you. And then we'll take and then I'll take it and just pour it into my mouth. It was so glorious. Oh man, good times. Good times with the cocoa. It was like candy. Same thing with the dry fruit in the MREs. Love those things. And occasionally you'd get the chiclets. Oh, good times. Good times. All right, so how's my pinup girl looking? Is she okay? She looks a little weird. She looks a little weird in some spots, but
she's good.
She'll be all right. How's Donald doing?
I'm okay.
Donald's doing a lot of lines and veins now.
He's practicing for blackout.
I have him presenting, but he's not on the screen, and he is now. I wonder if I have.
There's always like a delay for some reason.
Do I have to click?
There's a few second delay. The other night I was streaming it, and it was almost like a 15-second delay from what I could see online.
Yeah, I was upset that John didn't add Conan a sword for his wang.
What? What?
I was live drawing last night a Conan, and Critias wanted me to give him a sword for a wang.
Critias.
It was it was the whole chat. Everybody in chat wanted Conan Swang to have a sword.
Critias, why do you say things like that, Critias? Michael Jackson says, don't say that, Critias. Don't do that. That's not nice. Oh, Lord. Well, I think my wife just got here, so I'm going to have to go help her out with some stuff that she's bringing into the house.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to go leaf blow.
That job blows.
No, it's actually not too bad. It's like slow TV. Like, I mean, the leaf blower does all the work. So once you're out there, it's really chill. And
it's therapeutic.
Yeah, almost therapeutic. Yeah. So, but yeah. All right, cool, guys. Then good hanging with you guys. Rest in peace, Stanley.
Yeah, I got important things to do too.
Yeah,
no, you don't.
Like finish Brutus already.
Finish that, Brutus. Finish it. Listen.
Yeah, man.
Guys in the chat, we appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming by. If you had any good time at all, please elbow drop that like button and also subscribe if you want to continue to check out what I'm doing here, and make sure you hit that bell so you get the notifications. Otherwise, folks, it's been my pleasure to host this edition of Epic Doodles with my friend Critias, Donald DeLay, and the immortal John Malin.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Nice.
See, I did that. Hey, but seriously, what do you guys got working on? What just real quick, what are anything left in demand or whatever? Lay it on me.
Yeah, I got Detective Dead on demand, so you can go check it out on Indiegogo.
Brutus the Badass still in demand. We're going to be ending it at the end of the month.
And I'm happy to promote Sovereign by Andrew Huerta. And that's on Indiegogo right now. Everyone should check it out if you're into like Joe Mad type art style. I think it looks really cool.
If you're into fun, dope comics, go back that book.
Yeah.
Right on.
It is going to be the hotness of 2019.
The hotness. Oof. It made me all kinds of squirrely. All right. Gentlemen, thanks so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for everybody in the chat. And I'll make sure I'll populate everything into the description in a few minutes. Thanks for everybody hanging out. Happy Veterans Day and rest in peace, Mr. Lee. Later, guys.
Later, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.